Yeah, we've been dealt an unprecedented hand, and we're trying to see that as a challenge. I thought our players from shoot-around today, the approach to the day was really, really high level and impressive. From the way we prepared to the way we started the game in the first half. And then obviously they got back in the game in the third. Credit them, they kept playing. We got a little loose, but then our ability to amp it back up in the fourth physically and with our force on offense was impressive in a very tough game to win for a lot of different reasons.
Mark, go ahead. Mark, even after the final buzzer sounded, Jalen was talking to the officiating crew. You were arguing on his behalf at times tonight. As he tries to become this certain level of creator and driver, like, what are you telling him based on, you know, some of the things he's going through with, you know, the way he's being whistled or whatever comes with that?
Yeah, it was a very frustrating night from that standpoint. Here's a stat. Jalen Williams and I both shot the same amount of free throws tonight. We both shot 0 free throws. And all I did was I called a couple timeouts, called some ball plays, and clapped a couple times when we scored. And he was in the throat of the defense for 48 minutes. And we're encouraging him to be a downhill player. We're encouraging him to get his athleticism in the game. But that at some point, we're not asking for it to be rewarded. We're just asking for it to be met with an application of the rules the way that it would be for any other player. And I can understand why he's frustrated because he's getting it from us developmentally, trying to help him turn into this athletic force in the league. And he's really trying to do that, and it's being met with, tonight I thought there were multiple opportunities to go get those plays. So I was frustrated, and so was he.
And so with that, like, throughout the season tonight, like, what's your specific message to him?
To Dub?
Mm-hmm.
I just said it. We're encouraging him to be a complete player.
Coach, you guys shot over 93% from the free throw line. Speaking of free throw, how important is free throw during your practice and things of that nature?
Free throws are important. It's the most efficient shot that you can shoot in the game. It's more efficient than a three-point shot. It's more efficient than a rim shot in the NBA because those get contested. A trip to the free throw line is the most efficient thing you can do, and so that's a huge part of the game. That's why our focus on the free throw differential is so important because we're trying to become the best team we can be. And when teams are shooting 6 more free throws than us every single night, that's something that we have to address. We're trying to do that. We're trying to control everything we can. That's why I'm talking about the developmental focus we've had with Jalen on the force he plays with and the contact he's drawing. And that's why I think you're seeing the level of frustration from him and certainly from me in the game, because we're really trying to encourage him to insert his athleticism into the game.
Probably to no one's surprise, but Shea comes back from Vegas and has a great game tonight.
Yeah, no, not my surprise. Certainly, he's a total pro. I thought today it was great leadership, from the way that he approached shoot-around to the way that he started the game, and then he really had it going tonight. Just great blend, great tempo, great mix of creation for himself and others. A very impressive game for him.
Mark, even without Chet, you guys continue dominating. How you can describe the chemistry of this team at this point of the season, and also coming from Vegas, from the Cup, now here in Orlando, and you guys have a back-to-back game tomorrow in Miami. How do you guys prepare yourselves to be as healthy as possible to compete at this high level in the back-to-back game too?
Yeah, like I said, unprecedented hand we've been dealt with. Basically a West Coast road trip for 6 days. Today's day 7 on the road for us, and we traveled 3 time zones, 4 hours to play 3 games in 4 nights in 3 different cities. So that's the hand. We're trying to play it. I thought the guys did a great job of playing it tonight. Starting, like I said, shoot around. To just kind of cleanse ourselves from that whole situation and get ourselves back to 0 today. And playing a rested team at home that's incredibly feisty and that has proven that they can compete with anybody regardless of their injuries. Credit to them, by the way. They've done a great job, staying stable during this stretch of time. But our guys had a great response tonight.
Mark, Caruso only played 17 minutes, but he's still diving on the floor with a minute left and a 10-point win. How valuable is it to have someone who's competitive like that, even when maybe the minutes aren't going the way other guys would want it? And Do you remember maybe a time when that stood out to you when you first had him down at the G League level?
Well, I'll tell you a time that it stood out to me tonight is, he played the 17 minutes. I had him up at the table with Case and Wallace, and we got it going. We had a little run, and they called timeout, and he immediately turns to me and said, "Why don't we just roll with these guys?" And Kaysen was probably like, "What the heck?" Kaysen's fighting in the locker room right now. But he's just all team. He always has been. He's unbelievably present as a competitor. There's never a time in the game where his feet aren't on the ground and he's not focused on the moment of the game. And he's always inside the team. And I think over the course of a long game, a lot of possessions, 82-game season, that value compounds, for the teams that he plays on, and it's compounding for us right now.
Yeah, I got one for you, Coach. You just mentioned about Shai's leadership. Can you talk about his evolution as a leader from last year to this year?
It's not his evolution for anything. Leadership, his game, is not last year to this year. It's just been a continuous, incline over a period of time. His consistency with that has been the most impressive thing. We always say the leader is the person doing the right thing, and he, is always in character on that. He's a great worker. He wants to win, and he plays inside the team. And I've said this many times before, but he allows his ascension has not gotten in the way of other players' ascension. So I'm talking a lot about Jalen tonight. Jalen is rising as a player in the NBA, and Shai's presence is not interrupting that. They're ascending alongside each other. Wiggins had a great night tonight. He'd taken a couple low-minute games, and he played a great game tonight. And guys like him or Isaiah Joe, Kenrich Williams, role players, Caruso and Hartenstein coming in here, Shai's ascension, does not interrupt their ability to impact the team. And I think that's the sign of not only a great talent, but a great overall player.
Absolutely. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Anybody else? Thank you,
Good.
Coach.
All right.